Are you sacrificing your progress? Are you sacrificing the life that you want to live, all to the temptation of ever-present distractions? Well, if you ever feel like you're being distracted from making the progress that you want or achieving your goals, if those distractions are jumping in and you just don't know what to do or where they're coming from, then this episode's for you. This is the Enjoy Life podcast. If you feel overwhelmed or stuck and you want to break free so that you can find your power to take action to achieve your goals and enjoy life, then you're in the right place. Welcome, my friend. I am glad that you're here. My name is Nick Mazie, and it's my desire to be your guide through this material so that you can choose your mindset, goals, and actions so you can guide your life to go in the direction that you want to go and enjoy it. Now let's dive right in. Well, welcome to the Enjoy Life podcast. I'm glad that you're here and joining in today. Today we are talking about distractions. We're in the middle of this Goal Killer series. And goal killers, all they are things that stop you from making the progress that you want. And you can do something about them. You really can. Achieving any goal, anything worthwhile, it's going to take some work. There's going to be some setbacks and some challenges. But when you know what to look for, when you know things that are unfortunately common, that stand in people's way, when you know them, then you can identify them. You can say, hey, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to overcome. I'm going to address that challenge, or I'm just going to avoid that goal killer so that I can make the progress that I want. That's what the whole series is for, is to help you to identify these. If you missed any of the previous episodes, just go back and listen to them. You can find them at nickmazie.com or wherever you're listening to this episode. You can just scroll back, listen to the previous ones, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the future episodes that are coming. Today, what are we talking about? We're talking about those distractions. Distractions that they'll get you off track because, well, they're going to distract you from doing the work, from taking the steps, and making the progress that you want to achieve your goal. All right, so for a moment, let's just think about a laser. You know, laser or a laser pointer, or a really big, powerful laser. Well, the benefit of the laser is that it takes that light, it's focusing it down to a singular point. Even a laser pointer that you might use for a presentation or to make a cat go crazy chasing it, whatever. But that laser, it goes in just a perfectly straight line, and it's a singular point. And that's the power, is that it's focused. And it comes down to that single point. A distraction would end up spreading it out. It would make it diffuse. It wouldn't be a laser anymore because it wouldn't be having that singular focus, and it wouldn't be effective. Now, if you're anything like me, then sometimes when people talk about having laser focus and making progress, that it seems like something that's like a pipe dream. It's like, well, I can't achieve that. I don't have that kind of focus. Well, we're not going to get it perfect. We're not going to be laser focused all the time. But what we can do is we can kind of systematically try to remove certain things that distract us. You'll find that if you're susceptible to one particular distraction, then maybe trying to remove that or avoid that kind of distraction, you can make a whole lot more progress. You might not be able to eliminate every distraction and have that laser focus all the time. But what if you can make a little bit more progress and have a little less distraction so that you can be able to achieve your goals? That's what I also want you to get out of this episode. We're going to just go over a few things that can be distracting. They're just common distractions for a lot of people. And then you can decide which one you want to start to try to eliminate or remove, or just say, hey, you know what? My goals are more important than this distraction, and I'm going to make progress, and I'm going to achieve what I want. Now imagine lasers for a moment. Now imagine this for just a moment. And if you have kids or a family, then this might seem just like an amazing time. But imagine just for a moment distraction-free reading. Like you're sitting there, maybe on a quiet porch. There's a pleasant breeze, and you're reading your book, and you're making quick progress. You love this topic that you're reading about. It's exciting and enticing, and you're just really into the book. And you're making quick progress through that book. And Maybe your goal is to do some reading, and before you know it, you're just making so much progress, and the time is flying, and it's just, well, that sounds amazing to me. I don't know about to you. Now, on the other side, imagine trying to make the same amount of progress, and you're trying to read, and there's plenty of distractions around, like kids asking questions, pulling on your shirt, trying to get your attention. Maybe the dog is scratching at the door or his food bowl. There's a phone beeping, and you keep rereading and rereading the same sentence multiple times, constantly losing your place and barely able to make any progress through even one page. That doesn't sound as fun. That doesn't sound as fun at all. That distraction-free, that's the progress that you can make so fast. And think about it with just a book. But what if you have big goals? What if you have larger things you want to accomplish, which, most likely you do because you're listening to this podcast, or you're open to the idea of creating these big goals. And then you are constantly being distracted. It's like rereading that sentence over and over and over again and losing your place and not being able to make the progress. That's what distractions do. Yeah, they're evident in a book, but imagine them for your goals. Distractions are every bit as detrimental to your goals as they would be for trying to make progress through a book. And books and learning are important, but so are your goals. So are your goals. Now, we can't really eliminate all distractions. I get that. And sometimes though, we can choose, what we're allowing to distract us, because we're choosing to allow those things into our lives, and we're choosing to pay attention to them. And so I want you to think about which distractions you can remove so that you can make the progress toward your goals, so that you can have the life that you want to live and enjoy it. So what's distracting you? What's distracting you? Maybe one of these common distractions is what's distracting you from doing what you can do, from making the progress, from doing your absolute best, putting in your best effort, and striving to achieve the goals that you want. Is it other people? Other people can be a major distraction. Sometimes it's what other people are saying. What they say, because sometimes people aren't very encouraging. When you're striving to achieve your goals, when you're really trying to push, sometimes people can say things that aren't really meant to be mean, but they're just they distract you. They get your mindset away from all the possibilities of what you can do, and maybe they just say, well, I'm just being realistic, or that's not possible, or that's not how things work. Or I'm just trying to look out for you, and by telling you that you might not be able to do that, they end up bringing you down from maybe a little bit of that motivation, that drive that you have, and they knock you back down. And that's not leading you to the best life that you can have, that life that you want. It's not. Which is why sometimes I don't really want to tell everybody all my goals and all the things that I'm working toward, because I don't want them to make comments that are quote unquote realistic. Because no, I want to strive for the better. So what other people will say, can be a distraction, or starting to think about what other people might say, what they might say if you really tried to do your best, if you really strived to achieve those big goals, what would people say? All that is a distraction. If that goal is important to you, if it resonates with your values and what's important for you in your life and the things that you care about, if that goal is aligned with those things, then by golly, give it your best effort no matter what anybody else is going to say or what anybody else is doing. That's what's important. When it's true for you, it's good, it's positive, it's helpful, and it's meaningful, then go for it. Forget other people. Don't let them distract you. And this is a toughie. This is a real toughie. I probably didn't need to start off with the toughest one, but it is tough, because we care about other people and what they say and think and do. It's a little bit of human nature. But at the end of the day, when your goals resonate with your values and what you hold dear for you and your life, that is far more important than what other people say. That is far more important. So are other people distracting you? Well, you might need to see who you can maybe eliminate from your life, or just not tell them about your big goals, because that they might not be as positive or encouraging as they could be. Well, what about this next one? This next one's another big one, and it might be distracting you. It was one thing that distracted me a whole lot, and in fact, I had to cut it out. I had to cut it out, or at least to the far majority, cut it out of my life, and that is social media. Now, not that long ago, I had a podcast episode when I was talking about some other reasons why I decided to get off social media, or at least a few of the major platforms. Just to be completely honest and transparent, I post my videos of the episodes to YouTube, and I'm still on LinkedIn. So I'm not completely off social media, but social media was a major distraction. So there were some other reasons why I ended up cutting them out, but I knew I needed to do it because it is so easy just to scroll, especially on Instagram. And it's built for that. It is built to hold your attention. Everything they do, that whole algorithm thing that determines what you see and what you don't see, it is built to grab your attention, hold on to it. And then also a really sneaky thing they do is they make it so that you're rewarded for checking in often. They want you to check that phone. Well, I have nothing better to do, so I'm going to check my phone, or my phone's in my hand. So let me just go ahead and check social media and see what's going on, what other people are doing. And it goes right back to other people. But social media has made it even more difficult because they've built their apps to distract you. Don't let it distract you. Don't let it distract you. Your goals are important. They are valuable, and they are things that you should go after for you in your life so that you can make the progress that you want and live the life that you want. And please do not let social media be the distraction that's holding you back from achieving what you want. Another big distraction for some people is steps further down the road. When you're on step number 2, don't worry about step number 22. But steps further down the road, they can distract you from doing what you need to do now. Think about it. If you don't finish step number 2, then it doesn't matter. 22 doesn't matter. You haven't gotten there. 22 might be different. It may have changed. You may have eliminated it by the work that you did in steps 2, 3, 4, 5. All those things can impact what's going to happen further down the road. If you don't take care of what you need to take care of now, then further down the road doesn't really matter. Make sure you're doing what you need to do now. The step that you're on, just that step, and then go to the next step. All you have to do is the next step, and then the next. Try not to allow things that are further down the road, down in the future, to distract you from doing the absolute best that you can do now. Now, I'm not saying, forget the future and only live for the moment, because that'll come back and bite you. But, being smart about what you're doing now and doing your absolute best right now is far more important than worrying too much about what you have absolutely no control over, and those are things too far into the future. Which leads right into the next distraction, things you can't do. Things you can't do can be a big distraction. That's why in my email signature, I have, do not let the things you cannot do interfere with the things you can do. And that was by John Wooden, which makes so much sense. If you can't do something, then don't let it affect what you can do. There's so many things that you and I cannot do, and that's fine. That's life. But you know what? There's plenty of things that we can do. We can do a lot of things. We can do great things. You can do great things. But you got to do what you can do. And what you can't do, well, don't worry about it. You can't do it. And then the last one, the last distraction that we're going to talk about today is your past. Your past can be a big distraction, distracting you from doing what you can do now, doing what you can do today to make progress toward your goals, to achieve the things that you want to achieve, to move forward, to move toward the life that you want. Your past can distract you from it because you end up thinking about it. Now, there's many things that we can do with the past. We can learn from the past. We can make adjustments because we saw what happened before, or we can make improvements in our changes or improve our behaviors. Maybe in the past there was a habit, that you had that wasn't good, it wasn't beneficial. And so you need to make a change. Well, you can learn from that. You can improve. The past is a part of our lives. The problem comes is that when we think about the past too much, when it occupies our attention, and when you're living in the past, so you're not taking full advantage of what you can do right now in the future. Yesterday does not dictate tomorrow. Today does. What you do today, it counts, it matters. Not yesterday. Yesterday you can learn from yesterday,
But what matters is what you do today. Don't let the past distract you from what you can do right now, because what you do right now is what's going to set you up for what you're going to do tomorrow. And that's going toward the life that you want, is the actions you take right now. Those are the things that can help you to enjoy life. So don't let your past be a distraction for you. And I'm saying this to you because, my past has been a distraction for me a whole lot. And so these are things that I got to do. I got to make sure that I'm staying in the present, doing what I can do now, and not letting my past stop me from doing the best that I can do with what I have and making the most of where I'm at. I don't want my past to stop me from doing that. It has before in the past, but it won't anymore. And I don't want your past to distract you from doing what you can do now. Because you can do great things now. You can take action towards your goals and to guide your life to go where you want it to go. And that's what I want. I don't want any of these distractions to stand in your way of achieving your goals. Don't let these distractions be the goal killer that stops you. And a simple little test that you can do on some of these is just ask yourself, is it helpful? If you're talking about, if it's what you're thinking about, if it's other people and what they're saying, if it's the things that you can't control, if it's your past, if it's social media, is it helpful? Is it helping you to pursue the life that you want and live according to your values and what's important to you? Does it help you to enjoy life more, to feel good about who you are? Does it help you to take action and make the most of where you're at? If it does those things, awesome, keep it. If it doesn't, then you may want to cut it out. I know you can't just magically make all these things disappear, or, sometimes the things that people say, it might be a family member, it might be something that you need, it's going to be a part of your life. But you can try to limit how much you take that in, how much you allow it to impact you, the amount of time you spend with that person, or the conversations that you have. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit difficult, but it's very, very much worth the effort when you can eliminate some of the distractions, or at least reduce them. Eliminate or reduce the distractions that are holding you back from pursuing the life that you want. That way, they might not be the goal killer that stops you. And that's what I want. That's what this whole series is about. I want you to be able to reduce some of these goal killers. Sometimes you can't eliminate all of them, but maybe you can reduce or overcome the goal killers that are really stopping you so that you can make progress toward the life that you want and enjoy life. You can do it. You can do it one small step at a time, making a little bit of progress. Maybe reducing a few of these distractions, because it's up to you what you allow to keep in your life. It's up to you where you allow your attention to go. Keep it on the things that are positive, that are helping you to make the progress that you want, and not so much on the distractions that aren't providing the value that you want for your life. Remember, it can be other people that can be the distraction, what they say or what they might say, even what they do. It can be social media, which is a super sneaky one. That social media will steal your attention and be a big distraction. Or it could be steps too far down the road, that you're not at yet. Don't let them distract you. Things that you can't do, those can be a big distraction. Just remember, do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. John Wooden had some great sayings and a great amount of knowledge and wisdom, and listen to him. All right, and also your past. Try not to let your past distract you, because that can definitely be a goal killer. Well, that's what I have for the distractions goal killer, today's episode. And next week we're going to be talking about another one, and this one is one that if you go toward the extremes, it might be your goal killer, but just staying somewhere in the middle, just anywhere in the middle, can really help you to make some progress. So don't miss that episode. Best way to not miss that episode is to make sure you subscribe to this podcast. And then also, I have another thing I mentioned in the past few episodes about just asking me any questions you have about goal killers. I'm trying to put together some more information to make sure I dive into the areas and the topics and answer the questions that you have, so that are most relevant for you, what you need for your life and your goals, and just to make the progress that you want. Just go to nickmazy.com/GKM. and ask me anything right there on that page. Just go to nickmazy.com/GKM. That's for the Goal Killers Masterclass I'm trying to put together. And ask me any questions you have related to goal killers, and I'll try to make sure I bring that information together just for you. All right. Thanks for listening. Take care, And I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode.